Hi, IndyCar fans, it's Martha, and I want to welcome you to episode 11 of Cruising 41. We are officially in the month of May, and you know exactly what that means. It means that we are going to be experiencing a month full of events that build up step by step and event by event. They start building up the momentum, the excitement, but also the emotional connection that goes along with such an iconic, legendary race like the Indianapolis 500. And this year it's the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500. And it is going to be a super exciting month. We're going to have lots of racing happening, lots of events, like I said, qualifying, which is always super special and super unique. And well, these events started this weekend with the running of the Indianapolis or the Indy GP rather. In this Indy GP, we saw Christian Lundgaard winning. This was his first win with Aaron McLaren and his second win overall in his career. I'm going to touch very briefly on quali, but I wanted just to highlight two things. First of all, quali, Alex Palou on pole position. Like, I don't think anyone was surprised by that because Alex Palou has been very strong at the Indy GP. As a matter of fact, he won it the last three times, and he is in great shape of form, obviously. So he has become our only two-time pole sitter in 2026. So up until this point, we used to have one pole sitter per race, but never a repeat. And I don't mean a repeat like a back to back, but a repeat of two pole positions in the 2026 calendar. So of course, Alex Palou has already given us this second pole, and then he's the first one to do so in 2026. But also, I want to make mention and a very special one about Pato's qualifying. If you followed the Friday practice sessions, he was struggling with the performance of the car. And the team, kudos to the team, and of course to him, who were able to work together and deliver um, a very good lap, a very solid qualifying, and putting him on the front row along with Alex Palou. That was very commendable and worth noting. Um, so then we go into the race, and the race was chaos from the very beginning. It was a very chaotic start. We had Felix Rosenquist turn one. He locked up and then he hit Pato. And then he also collected Scott Dixon and Kyle Collette in that process. Unfortunately for us Pato fans, Pato, after that incident, he dropped significantly. He dropped positions and he wasn't able to recover after that. Felix did receive a drive-through penalty for avoidable contact because of this collision with Pato and others. Um, then more chaos, and this chaos was a very dangerous kind of chaos. But lap 21, Alexander Rossi's ECR car stalled. Some issue with his hybrid system, and he stalled. And his car was stopped in a very dangerous place. And initially, race control only threw the local yellow, which was very surprising. It was definitely not the right call. And Alexander Rossi you could see on his onboard that he was desperately trying to, you know, kind of catch their attention in order to rectify that call and to make it a full course yellow, which it wasn't happening, and it wasn't happening immediately. So he decided to get out of the car and just walk into the pits, and he was fuming. He was visibly upset with that call from race control, and of course he was. It was he was in a very dangerous position, in a very dangerous situation, and he should have never been put in that position. And race control, in my opinion, should have been more proactive and get um, that full course yellow quicker than just the local yellow as it happened. So these not only created a very dangerous situation for Alexander Rossi, but by the time they did go into the full course yellow, it also there was confusion on the track. And at that point in the race, we had Alex Palou and Kyle Kirkwood being first and second. And then they decided to go and do their first pit stop or their pit stop. And in the middle of this confusion, they ended up being disadvantaged by this, with this, stop because of the yellow situation and when it changed from like local yellow into a full coast yellow. Then we had on lap 27, we had the restart, and it was a very exciting restart with David Malukas kind of closing into um, to Will Power, who at the time was leading the race. And then we also were seeing a battle between Christian Lundgaard and Graham Rahal. Ultimately, Christian Lundgaard was able to pass Graham Rahal and got into third position. But the chaos was not done. And then there was another incident yet again, and this time it involved Felix Rosenquist, who did not finish the race. Stingray Rob, it seems like it started from that, from Stingray Rob, and only Felix Rosenquist was not able to finish the race. I stand corrected. That's not actually correct. Roman Grosjean had a suspension failure and also did not finish the race, as where Marquez continued to carry on and finished in 11th place. Um, that incident between the two of them, Marquez and Roman, actually carried out into the pits after the race, with Roman being unhappy about the situation, and he went to the to Marcus Armstrong's pit wall or garage or pit, and was engaged in some words exchange over there. Then lap 40, Kyle Kirkwood pitted again. And we're seeing time and time again the Andretti Global team not delivering the best or the cleanest or the fastest pit stops. And so it was again an issue for Kyle Kirkwood. And I mean, it put him in even further disadvantage. I mean, he was already disadvantaged from that local full course yellow confusion, but now with this very slow pit stop with an issue, then it was even worse for him. So Malukas did his pit stop, and he came out into the lead after that, pit stop. And then by lap 57, we were catered with a very exciting, very racy, very competitive, but super respectful racing exchange between David Malukas and Christian Lundgaard that resulted in, in an exchange of the lead. So Lundgaard took the lead from Malukas, and it ultimately resulted in a win for him. So the podium was Christian Lundgaard, um, David Malukas, and Graham Rahal. But before the race ended, like with 3 laps to go, we also saw an incident between Mick Schumacher and Santino Ferrucci, with Mick Schumacher kind of getting to the back of Santino's car, and that resulted in a penalty for Mick Schumacher. And in the final standings or the final results, he was last in those final results. There were some comments that perhaps Santino test, brake tested Mick, but nothing was reviewed, and no action was taken other than the penalty that Mick Schumacher received. So let's talk about Pato. Like I indicated, Pato was not happy during the practice sessions. The car had the right balance, but it was not delivering the performance he needed. And he was concerned and he was not um, overly happy with the situation. And like I said too, the team turned it around. He delivered an outstanding qualifying, put that car on the front row. And, you know, had he not had that incident with Felix Rosenquist at the beginning and seeing the kind of performance that Christian Lundgaard delivered, I am certain that he would have had a really solid and great result. Um, he was the race from that turn one on. It was painful to watch, painful for him, I'm sure, to race. And even at the end, he started to go into saving fuel, so he was not really able to compete and and to try more. So it was a total disaster, P18 at the end for him. I just want to mention something too regarding this win from Lundgaard, because I am not of the opinion that this in any way threatens what Pato has achieved in IndyCar and and with Aero McLaren. He has solid results. He has outstanding statistics, and he is delivered time and time again. So he is the face of IndyCar. He is the face for Aero McLaren, and he is still having some solid results. Even though this past weekend wasn't the most ideal, it's not like he is not delivering at all. And the championship is still very, very young. And we're going now into, like like I said, the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500, and we know how strong Pato has been in that race, how competitive he is, and I am certain his this year is his year, and he's going to win it. But I just wanted to bring that up, the situation with Lundgaard, because I don't think it adds when when people are starting to rush into narratives that that don't serve purpose and don't add up. And it's too early to even start talking about those things, in my opinion. So let me know in the comments if you feel differently. But I just wanted just to insert that that note in here. And then, well, like I've been saying, so next it's the big one, the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500. It's a four corner, 2.5 mile legendary iconic oval. So the practice sessions will start Tuesday, May 12th, and we're going to see our first quali on Saturday. And just keep an eye on the calendar, because weather can play a factor, like it did over the weekend for the Indy GP. So some things may change, or switch around, or whatever. But the build up of the race is super magical. It's exciting, and can't wait to see what it's going to deliver. The race will be May 24th. It is scheduled to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but like I said, the weather can play a trick. The weather can be a variable. It has been in the past, so anything can happen. So otherwise, thank you for listening. Like the video, subscribe, and interact with me. Let me know who's your pick for this year, um, for the big race. And yeah, who do you have? I definitely have Pato, but let me know if you agree or not, or if you have a different pick. Just let me know in the comments, or let me know on my X account. And looking forward to interacting with all of you. In the meantime, thank you for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye.